What's up, boxing fans? This is King Ring Boxing, back to give you your boxing news when you want it and when you most certainly need it. I had some comments and some, questions to take the background music out of my videos, so I decided to do that. I won't really put it in there anymore because, as you can see, you can't really hear it that well. It's just a new thing to sort of try it out. But they wanted me to recover the Pacquiao Mayweather fight. What I think about it, May 2nd. Mayweather was forced into the fight. I feel like he didn't want to take the fight, but I feel like from so much pressure from his camp and from his promotions, Al Heyman, Bob Arum wanting the fight to happen. I feel like Pacquiao really pressed the fight to happen with all his Twitter comments and even the commercial that he made. I feel like First Take with Stephen A. Smith even saying if Floyd didn't take the fight, he would feel like Floyd was ducking Pacquiao. Honestly, I feel like if you're a fighter, you're not scared of anyone. I really don't feel like Floyd wanted the fight, but at the same time, I feel like he's not afraid to take the fight. I feel like he was ducking because he is so afraid to see that one on his record. I feel like he's finally met his equal when it comes to fighting, and that's going to give him some problems. And I think Manny Pacquiao is arguably the greatest offensive fighter of our era. Floyd is a technical defensive genius, as we've seen before. He's put on display many boring fights that shouldn't have been boring. He just adapts to situations so well and make fights look boring. But in all reality, if we got in there and tried, it would be the hardest thing in the world. But he makes it look like it's nothing. That's his, that's what he does best. And Pacquiao's angles are really going to give Floyd some problems. When it comes to his punching power, to his underrated footwork, and his underrated boxing, period. He utilizes his jab, his counterpunching so well. And as you've seen against Chris Algieri, he's a long, lanky fighter. He's a boxer. And Manny Pacquiao had no problem getting inside on him, laying him down 6 times. I believe it was the 9th round where he had a flush left. It was a flush left hook, a flush left hand, or a flush right hook that just laid Algieri out and tumbled him across the whole mat. I can't remember. But we've seen before, Pacquiao has no problem with getting on the inside, and he's going to have to do that against Floyd. Floyd's the bigger fighter. He's the longer fighter, not by much. And I think Floyd's legs are going to give out in this fight. I think his age is going to show in the later rounds, 9th, 10th round. I feel like the fight might go the distance. But with Bob Arum being at the fight, I think, you usually hear the judges sway it Floyd's way because he's in Vegas. But Bob Arum has so much power. And that's just a lot that people don't understand. He's one of the top promoters in boxing. He promoted Muhammad Ali. How much better can it get as a promoter? He has that power to sway the judges either way. I think it's a 50-50 chance he can go either way. And I really believe Pacquiao will pull it off because, like I said, his angles, his punching power, he's so dominant when he gets you against the ropes. You see a lot of fighters that throw 4 to 5 punch combinations and just get out and leave it there. But you have Manny Pacquiao who throws, 6 to 7 punch combinations. He's boom, 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 out. He switches his angles. You try to roll out or try to slip out, he's right there again pressuring you. Boom, 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 more angles. And when Floyd goes to shoulder roll, he uses his shoulder roll. It's very effective against orthodox fighters, but it's not against southpaw fighters, as we've seen against Zab Judah. And Zab Judah had great success in the early rounds, with being a southpaw and being quick. And I feel like at his prime against Floyd Mayweather, but in the later rounds, I feel like Floyd dominated the fight, and it was the right choice to give it to Floyd. But you have to understand, Pacquiao being, 56, 57, 5-2, and coming from nothing, he's wanted this fight forever, and he finally has the opportunity to fight Floyd, not so Mayweather. Floyd Gump, the runner. I feel like in so many fights, Floyd has waited to fight the best fighters when they were at their most vulnerable stages, when they were old, when their legs were gone, when their careers were just done with. They kept trying to come back, as we seen against Shane Mosley. Shane Mosley was like 90 years old when Floyd fought him, and Shane almost dropped him in like the 2nd round with 2 big right hands that buckled Floyd. And Marcos El Chino Maidana gave Floyd Mayweather some problems. When you're a pressure fighter and you pressure Floyd and you get him against the ropes and you're relentless and you keep a great punch output to 80 to 90 punches, around, you have great success against Floyd. And those are just flat-footed fighters that have no type of real speed whatsoever, but have some good hard power, but they don't punch like Pacquiao. They don't stand on their toes and angle out like Pacquiao. They don't sit down on punches like Pacquiao. They don't have the counter-punching ability that Pacquiao has that can give Floyd troubles all night. Floyd is great because he utilizes his jab, and his overhand right is great. But it hasn't been so great these last couple of fights. I seen Floyd miss by a foot or two against his second fight against Marcos Maidana. You know how he counters the right, he comes over the top. I seen Marcos El Chino Maidana slip out of those punches 6 or 7 times in a row. It was in one round. It was like round 6 when Floyd kept punching and punching and punching, and Marcos Maidana just slip, slide out. And I was like, come on, man, his age is showing here. You know, he wants Pacquiao. He tried to wait so long to draw the fight out, but it really isn't working, you know. And I see the judges giving it to Pacquiao if Pacquiao has a high number of punches output in each round. If Pacquiao is busy, he can get the fight going, he can get the momentum going, and you also know the judges score. The judges score busyness. You know, a lot of fighters don't understand that, but they do. You know, when you're hitting, even though some of the punches aren't landing, you're doing damage. Floyd's hands are brittle. And people are going to ask themselves, what do Floyd's hands have to do with this fight? Floyd's hands have to do everything with this fight. You know, for a lot of people who don't know, Floyd uses steroids in his hands, which are only allowed at the MGM Grand. That's why he never fights anywhere else. And he's also afraid to use the UVADA testing, which, in my opinion, says he's on PEDs. He wants his fans to think he's all natural, but he's not. Floyd is on PEDs. You can't be this old at this stage and still doing the things that you're doing with the quickness and speed that you have and not be questioned about PEDs. He questioned Pacquiao about PEDs. Why can't we question Floyd about PEDs? But he wants Pacquiao to use UVADA, and he wants to use USADA. If you fail a USADA drug test, you're a dummy. That's rude. I'm a boxing fan, and I know that. If you fail USADA, you're an idiot. For everyone out there who's failed a USADA test, you're stupid. But anyway, back to the point. You know, Pacquiao has a great punch output, and when he starts hitting Floyd on the ropes, even some of the shots that aren't landing flush are going to hit Mayweather's hands, and they're going to hurt Mayweather's hands because of Pacquiao's punching power. And that will have an effect later on in the fight, when the later rounds, when Floyd's legs are gone from having to run and move so much as he does so well, run. And I feel like he's not going to be able to have enough punch output to beat Pacquiao. Pacquiao's going to keep coming and keep coming. And, you know, they've already utilized a game plan. You know, Freddie Roach and Manny Pacquiao's camp, they have to be on to something great, because they said, when we hurt Floyd, I'm going to take out the if, because I know he's going to hurt Floyd. When Manny Idepedran, the Filipino star, hurts Floyd, not so Mayweather, Floyd will run, as they said. And they had to have a great game plan for that. I feel like if they would have fought 4 or 5 years ago, it would have been a great fight. But I feel like Floyd may have pulled it off because of his quickness and his speed a few years ago. But he slowed down, and now he has fighters thinking, I have a chance. He has fighters thinking if. And when you have fighters thinking, I have a chance, and if, it gets dangerous. So tune in May 2nd to see Manny Idepedran Pacquiao, Floyd Money Mayweather, 56, 57, 5-2. It's one of the, I think it's 56, 5-2 versus 47-0 at the MGM Grand, 60-40 split. You've heard about it on ESPN First Take. Skip Bayless has talked about it. Stephen A. Smith has talked about it. You've heard Ellie Seckback cover the fight with ES News. You've heard Dante's Boxing Nation cover it. You've heard T Street Controversy Live, which is personally my favorite. You've heard Thunderdome Boxing. You've heard all these great people cover it. And if you don't know much about boxing, if you want to know who's going to win the fight, if you're just starting to get into boxing, listen to some of the greats. Go to YouTube and just type in Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, who wins the fight. And you'll see some of the legends talk about, they pick Pacquiao. Michael Spinks, Pacquiao. Mike Tyson, Pacquiao. Who was it? It was, what's his name? I'm trying to think of the guy's name. Anyway, I'll get to it later. But anyway, most of the great fighters, Roberto Duran, Pacquiao, they have picked Pacquiao to win the fight because we all see Floyd has problems with left-hand fighters, and he hasn't faced anyone like Manny Idepedran Pacquiao. I've said this time and time again, you know. And when he gets into the ring, you can't find a sparring partner to match what you're facing, Floyd. You can't find a sparring partner that mimics Pacquiao, that's a copy, that's the exact replica, that duplicates him. You can't. You can watch it on film, but just as everyone said, just like Skip Bayless said, until you get into the ring with Manny Pacquiao, there's no training for it. There's no knowing what you're up for until you feel his power and see his speed. And I feel like Manny's going to do a great job of countering Floyd's jab all night. And as you've seen at the end of the 3rd round against his second fight against Maidana, Excuse me. Second fight against Maidana, Maidana tried to Floyd Mayweather through, tried to come across with his straight right. And Maidana countered it with a big right hand and lifted Floyd off his feet, hurt Floyd. They would have had a couple minutes left. I feel like Maidana may have put him down or knocked him out. He hurt Floyd easily, and that's something Pacquiao does so well, is counter his jab because he's a southpaw fighter. And his right hook is going to set up so much. When he comes with the overhand right, boom, right hook, bow. Sit down on the left, it's good night, Floyd. And a lot of people don't believe this. They're hyping Floyd up. Floyd does not believe he can do this. He has so many out-of-the-ring concerns that are going to carry into the ring that it's just going to mess his mind up. He even has people in his own camp. There's an article on there's an article on Google. I forgot what it's called. I'll have to put the link to it down below sometime. But there's an article on Google that says there are people in Floyd's camp that are even questioning Floyd. Can you beat Pacquiao? I feel like when Floyd is there that night, when he's about to make his ring entrance, he will be saying to himself, can I really beat Manny Pacquiao? When they look eye to eye and touch gloves, and he sees Manny Pacquiao in that ring, there's no more running. There's no more talk. There's no more he has Marquez problems. There's no more he has whoever problems. By the way, he fought Marquez 4 times and I believe won 2. I think 1 was a draw. There's no more of that. So tune in May 2nd and see the fight. The fight's going to be great. Check out Dante's Boxing Nation, ES News, and T Street Controversy, Thunderdome Boxing for more boxing coverage because, they have a lot of great videos there. But thanks for covering. Thanks for subscribing. Please subscribe if you haven't subscribed and share my videos. This is King Ring Boxing, back to give you your boxing news when you want it and when you most certainly need it. If you have any questions, leave your questions below and I will get to them whenever I can. Peace.